Hey, what's up, fam? New fiscal year rolled around, so you know what that means for a lot of magazines, new mangas. We did get Gambler's Parade recently, but the first volume isn't even out, so you can't really count where exactly the numbers would be. I don't imagine a lot of series are getting started, that close, at least being released. Otherwise, the volume sales aren't going to look too great. I know you get some stuff like early in the year. We got Eden Zero and 100 Years Quest, obviously, as an example, started back up, and I guess Eden Zero's case started kind of in the middle of it, so it's a little bit different. But obviously, you'd want a lot of the shiny new stuff to begin when the fiscal year kind of begins, and when the sales numbers are going to be coming around, because you don't want stuff to end up looking bad, even though some people would probably look at it and not really pay attention to, oh, this is the first volume, this just came out. That's why, it only got this amount compared to everything else. It only sold its first volume or something like that. And then obviously you got stuff that, the authors have more more credibility already. Something like Eden Zero, you already knew that Mishima already had a fan base. You don't have to worry about that point. But this is we got stuff kind of already with Gambler's Parade are kind of in that in between, though the Danganronpa is popular. I don't think it's manga wise as normal as something like Fairy Tail or with Fire Force. It's Soul Eater, both like big hits. But with this one, the series Chainsaw Man, I know the author is he did a series called Fire Punch. I haven't finished it, but I know of it. I've read probably about half of it, and if you've never read it, it's very strange. Like it's one of those ones that you read it and it's not like this is the craziest manga ever, but you read it and you're just like, oh my god, what's going on here? It's understandable but weird at the same time. And I knew, like, seeing this guy's name in a weekly Shonen Jump title that was coming out, that it wasn't gonna be normal. It wasn't gonna feel like really like a Shonen Jump, and it doesn't. So you can actually summarize the first chapter pretty well because there wasn't anything that was hard to grasp, which I liked. The main character, you don't get a ton out of him, but you get a pretty good understanding of him within the first one. He's in debt. I guess his father had worked up a massive amount of debt. I think, like, even after a bunch of the stuff he's done, he's saying like he's cutting trees. He gets like I'm trying to think of it. I know it's yen, but I'm going over because I think yen is what you just take off two zeros, and that's pretty much dollars. So like $600 a month for cutting trees. He sold one of his kidneys for like 12 grand. He sold his eye and sold actually one of his balls, which I'm just like, geez, dude, that sucks. You got one ball now. What are you gonna do? And even after all this, he still owes. Look, try to throw at 380,000 dollars just off that, and so he's trying to get this debt. He doesn't want to get killed by this yakuza or mob. I don't remember if they gave an exact kind of what kind of mob they were. And so you see him just kind of like, it starts out pretty normal, and then you see his pet is like he's got a pet devil, and it's like this little weird ball with legs that looks kind of like a dog, and it's a chainsaw handle, like startup handle for a tail, and then a chainsaw blade coming out of his nose. And the next page, when he says he's gonna go kill some devils, you see a giant tomato with eyes and a mouth on it, and it has a bunch of arms coming at the bottom that he uses to walk around. It's very creepy. Like I said, well, once I got to the second page, I was like, yeah, as expected, this guy was not gonna give some normal manga. It was gonna be something weird. But you could understand it pretty quickly. Like, okay, he's got a weird weapon. There's monsters in this world in the form of devils. He's hunting them to get money, and they're, nothing too out of the ordinary. It's really it's really interesting because you could look through all of like the half of the first chapter and get it. Okay, yeah, he's living in this shitty shed too. He's living off of like singular pieces of bread by day. He's not doing too well, and you understand his dad died. He left him all this. You see him how he met up with his dog friend. What was his name? Puchita, I think he named it something like that. And one day, like at his dad's funeral, or at least while visiting his grave, he runs into, oh, there's an alarm going off in the background. I'm sorry if that's loud. I don't know if you can hear that. But he meets up with his little pet friend who initially is hurt, and the devil, like little animals in their world, can heal and get better by human blood. And so he gives the little guy his blood. He was fine with him killing him because he's like, If you don't kill me, the Yakuza guys are gonna kill me anyway, so just do it." But he doesn't want the little guy to die. He's always remembering his dad who recently like hung himself. So death is a very sensitive area for Denji. Denji being the main character. I don't know if I named him yet. Giving the little guy his blood and simply making a buddy. And then he's able to use the skill that he has with him, as he's got this weapon to go hunt devils, and he could make a living off of that, doing what he can otherwise to survive, taking multiple jobs, selling his eye, and all these other things. But it kind of hurts him because he knows with it's gonna be hard to continue on, not to let, and he's not gonna have a normal life. And even like shortly into the chapter, like also if you get to this point, like just so you know, it's gonna spoil like kind of a turn for the first chapter. But I mean, it's the first chapter. You're not gonna be invested in until I sell you the craziness of it. But he ends up getting stabbed through the chest within like page 21, like page 2021, and it goes right through his little dog Chainsaw Buddy, and it's revealed that a devil, which is really weird looking. It's like this big floating corpse with a head in it, and like a big brain explodes, and these tentacle like coming out of his spleen or something, and his intestines. Looks really weird. That it was super easy to trick all of the Yakuza guys, because he just had to say like he'd trade power for them if they helped him, because he wanted to get, obviously as a devil, he'd want to get rid of this guy who kills devils. And now he's got like this whole zombie horde out of these guys. And you'd think this would be a part where some good stuff happens, but nope. Once Denji tries to get away, he gets cut up, like horribly mutilated, and they dump all his body parts in a dumpster. And he should be dead, but like I'm guessing those last couple moments of where his brain hadn't fully shut down, maybe it's a little bit different in their world, that his little dog buddy, yeah, Pochita, I don't know how you pronounce his name, ended up kind of merging his body with, with his master or partner, whichever he would have kind of went with, his friend, his buddy. He's like, listen, I know we formed a pact, like I got to eat part of you so I could live. So now I need you to eat part of me so you could live. And he ends up kind of merging with him, putting his body all back together. And I thought it was really cool because there wasn't a drastic change to what he looked like at that point. He just kind of got fixed. And it was cool because he got all his body parts that he missed back. Hopefully he got both. He got his ball back because he got a new eye. And he's got like this big startup cord out of his chest. And once the zombies all kind of came at him, he goes and pulls it, and that's when things get wild, because it goes from what was like pretty pretty nicely warming up to just insane right after that. He's got two chainsaws coming out of his arms. He's got a chainsaw coming out of his head. He's got this sick mask, and he's got like these big sharp bladed pointy teeth, and he's just slaughtering everything around him. It gets really gory and violent, and it was just out of nowhere. You didn't expect it to be, and it was intense, and it was just so vicious. I really liked it. I'll put a link in the description if you want to read it. Unfortunately, it was on Manga Stream. I don't like them, but I can't stop the fact they already translated this, and I want this to pick up, because I'm gonna be really sad if the popularity of this series doesn't go somewhere and it continues on, because this is really interesting right where it is. The chapter kind of ends with actual like professional devil hunters showing up and being like, "Hey, thanks for doing our job for us. We don't have to worry about it now." And recognizing the weird in between that Denji is between human and devil. I know one of my friends is gonna be like, "Oh, it's very similar to Tokyo Ghoul." My Australian companion and his love for Tokyo Ghoul is gonna compare this to Kaneki and Rize. I know it already, but this character, who seems to be fully accepting, she's like, "Hey, if you become my pet, I won't kill you." Pretty fair trade-off, and you got some hot chick who's coming off at you at this weird way, and it looks like for Denji, even if he's like a servant, I imagine it's much better than what he's at now. That's mostly it for the whole chapter for chapter one. I don't think I got entirely everything for it. This is going a little longer than my normal ones, 10 minutes. Jeez. So check this out. Definitely check this chapter out. This is a pretty interesting series. Definitely want people to look into this. Unfortunately, with some of the newer stuff I had to put on the side, can't do reviews on because of their company being a bunch of crazy folk. Can't do my Nemesis and Mary Grave with the worry of their other people coming after me since they're going after that Lone Shark manga. So I'm gonna leave it be, and I'll keep reading their stuff, but I don't like their group. Anyway, yeah, drop a comment if you've read this below, or if you're interested, and then read it, come back, and then drop another comment. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Check out my other videos. Appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. Otherwise, thank you very much for listening. Bye.